far from it, my friend. My daughters tell me that every day. No, that's not.
We have plans, not and we have a lot of requests, but then it seems to just never get done. Which means we're starting to be surrounded by the jungle. It doesn't block your breath. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. This is why I don't sleep at night. Not for that. I mean, if I were in that situation.
There it is. Yes. I know. It's the time. We're okay.
It's over now. Give me a second. It's time to start tackling something. Anything. I'll remember that. Something has to strike the balance. Running for the sake of yeah, but at least you're now rejuvenated. I was just gonna say now when it's time to go back at it. I do miss some of those wake up at 5 o'clock, 8,000 ideas. Right now I don't, but I did. That's going. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she's due. Just a random salary. We got stuck snapping yesterday. We went to the Starks Elementary. Yeah. Back to reality. Because it's like, I'm sure it takes an hour and a half. All the testing out all of these methods once you're truly going to get so that I can say, okay, he's going to turn it up. But we're actually looking at it.
Better part of the last years. Restaurants and stuff down there. He DJs at several places down there. Yeah, he works dive shop. Dive shop.
Yeah, I got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. So, I'm sorry, I apologize for getting started a few minutes late. So, Fontis is our coffee sponsor. They just arrived. So, if you guys want to take a minute, we'll take a few more minutes, grab a cup of coffee, make yourself comfortable, keep talking, and we'll start probably in another 5 or 6 minutes.
So they'll go to it's an event that they'll go to a couple different locations, and the one they're doing this time is going to be by the University of America. So we'll start there, and then we're going to go to like one other place. I was looking at $20 on Crawford.
Too close to it.
Oh, yeah. That is so smart. Yeah. That's awesome.
Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? Good. You've had coffee, you've got your tea, everybody's awake now, so I see some new faces. Thank y'all for coming to check out the program. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Cherokee. I'm not your normal MC, so definitely out of my element, so you guys can be pretty forgiving of me this morning. I like taking behind the scenes approach on this program. So Matthew is normally our 1MC MC, as he likes to say. And he is out of town with, I believe, his fiance having some kind of surgery for her, so he couldn't make it. When he called me yesterday, I said, you really have to prioritize big stuff. No, I didn't say that. But so, I'm sorry he's not here, but hopefully you guys will enjoy the program this morning. 1 Million Cups is a national program out of the Kaufman Foundation, headquartered in Kansas City. So who's heard of Kaufman? So Ewing Marion Kaufman is since passed, but he was a huge entrepreneur in Kansas City and around that region. But he wasn't only a billionaire entrepreneur growing companies, he really had a passion for local entrepreneurs in that area. So for decades, the Kaufman Foundation has been pouring resources and money into building entrepreneurs, both some that are building something from scratch, as well as resourcing entrepreneurs in programs like this to have what they need to grow. And so I'm excited that we have a chapter we launched in February of this year, and it's called 1 Million Cups Cherokee, and these are the 5 cities in Cherokee County, and so it's a free program. We don't charge for this program. The whole purpose of it is to gather people in a community and to connect, engage, and educate the community around entrepreneurship. Part of the culture of 1 Million Cups that makes it unique maybe from other programs is that we've developed these 3 tenets of our culture. We want it to be safe and supportive. So when entrepreneurs present their company, they have 6 minutes to pitch. Then there's 20 to 30 minutes of Q&A. That's kind of the program house layout. But we want them to feel like when they're pitching their company, it's safe for them to do so. They can be vulnerable with their challenges and problems, and they'll get support back from you guys. We want it to be inclusive and diverse. I know that some of those are buzzwords, but the way we define these words, we want people to feel like they're included regardless of the industry, regardless of the stage of development, their startup or businesses, regardless of their gender or background, whatever it might be. And we also want to reflect the diversity that they bring to the table as well, not just in what I mentioned, but also in their experience. And then respectful and considerate. So you'll notice in the Q&A time, some of you might have questions that are supportive, and others you might have questions that are constructive. Both types of questions are totally fine. But we do want it to feel like we're respectful of the person that's presenting, and we want to feel like we're considering where they are in their business as well. So, pretty straightforward. Now, our chapter is a little bit different. So there's about 150 chapters across the U.S. 1MC Cherokee has taken kind of a different approach. So we partnered with leaders from every city in Cherokee County because our goal as an office at the Economic Development Office for Cherokee is to really create a culture of entrepreneurship throughout the whole county, not just Woodstock. So that's why you'll see our team is reflecting leadership from the whole county. So Missy Martin, our fearless leader of co-ed, myself, Erin Honey from Holly Springs. She's actually on maternity leave. Again, priorities, more people. Matthew Thomas from Canton, Brian Stockton from Woodstock is here, and then Tim Norton, he's a VP at Reinhardt, and he's representing the city of Valeska. And the reason we don't have walk-around up here yet is because they are at a really busy season and they couldn't dedicate enough time, so I'll tell you more about walk-around in a second. And so the program, for those of you who are new especially, we meet twice a month. The first Wednesday is always at the circuit, our HQ, and third Wednesday we hit the road and go to another city, which is kind of cool. It gives us another venue and it gives access to entrepreneurs that may have never heard of the program. We couldn't do what we do today without our program partners up here, all of the cities, Reinhardt University, Canton, Holly Springs, Woodstock, and of course Fresh Start Cherokee, which this is a program of. And then Voice Over City, every single event that we have, whether it's here at the circuit or on the road, the guys with Voice Over City back there are doing not only video for the entrepreneur and for us to put online, but they're live streaming to our website, totally free. They partnered with us for that, and we really appreciate their services, and as well as Fontes Water that you guys are tasting now. They've partnered with us for every time we meet at the circuit for the rest of 2018. They want to supply their coffee because they want to be in front of entrepreneurs. And so if you guys haven't tried their coffee, it's good. Their water is also excellent. I highly recommend it. If you want to taste it, we've got some in our office back there later. Of course, we have a mobile app that you can download, and that's kind of cool because you can see who comes to the events, you can check in, you can see what people's titles are, what company they represent, but you can also get access to all the other chapters across the country. So some of you might say, hey, I'm going to be on business in Idaho or in San Diego. I wonder if there's a one meeting comes out there. Most likely there is. There's one or two in every major city. There's 9 in the state of Georgia. And we have a great relationship with the Alpharetta one, Athens, as well as Augusta. And so we are friendly neighbors to a lot of these chapters. And then, of course, this is a little bit of our schedule. So May 16th, we are going up to Ball Ground for the first time. There's a TBD up there because I'm really hoping that we can get access to the burger bus. It would be a tight setting, obviously, and maybe more of an intimate space, but it'd be kind of a cool spot. They're not going to serve burgers, so don't get excited. We will be at 9 o'clock. We'll have coffee. But again, priorities. I mean, they just had a baby. They're not responding to my in the sky. So come on. So no, they just welcomed their first child into the world, so that's pretty exciting. And then we'll be back at the circuit in June, and then we'll hit the road in Holly Springs with the training depot again in June 20th. All this will be on the website, so you don't have to feel like you got to take notes. So without further ado, you guys didn't come here to hear me speak. You came here to hear our presenter. So this morning, I'm excited to introduce Alex Bryant, co-founder and business development manager of a company called SARcraft. SARcraft is based in Valeska. For those of you who don't know, how many acres do you guys have? 70. 70 acres, where they basically are a wilderness and survival startup. They've been going for almost a year now, and they're bringing people to their land to take them through search and rescue training, wilderness and survival for companies, families, and individuals. He's going to go more into it. So without further ado, if you guys would give Alex a round of applause.
Hop up here real quick, drink of water before I get rolling. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Good. Great, glad to hear that. I want to first off thank everyone for coming out today. I really appreciate everyone being here. It really means a lot to be up here on this stage. It's a big honor to be able to present here. Got some friends in the audience. Lee came out to support me, and then Sean, of course, and his daughter were just in class this past Sunday. So wonderful again to see some familiar faces here. No.
Okay. All right. We had problems with the server. So
okay. We'll roll with it. It's all good. Like we were saying a minute ago, it wouldn't really be right for there not to be PowerPoint difficulties, because that's what keeps you on your toes and keeps it interesting so that you can have the adrenaline to pump yourself up for your presentation. I could cue you. But we'll try this. Yeah, it's on. Okay, third time's hopefully going to be the charm here. Yes. Yes. Third time was the charm. All right. Good deal. So what does SARcraft do? We're a wilderness skills school and outfitter based in Waleska, Georgia. We teach wilderness survival, bushcraft, and search and rescue training courses for people of all skill levels, from people who have never been camping before or totally green, all the way up to people like outdoor professionals such as search and rescue teams and law enforcement fugitive trackers. We also have an online store. We're an outfitter. We sell premium field-tested survival gear that we ourselves have put a lot of confidence in. And we've got a 70-acre proving ground outside of Waleska. It's family land, and we're very grateful to have use of it. And we've turned it into a true search and rescue training site and survival school over time. Now, a little bit about myself. Again, my name's Alex Bryant. I run the business side of the enterprise. I picked the title of Business Development Manager. I'm a proud Reinhardt University graduate. I graduated in 2015, spent some time in the corporate world. I worked for several companies before branching off and doing this, but I've always had a passion for the outdoors. I'm an Eagle Scout. I've hiked over 1,000 miles of the Appalachian Trail, and for the past 7.5, almost 8 years, I've been a volunteer with Cherokee County Fire and Emergency Services Wilderness Search and Rescue Team, which is where I met my partner Jonathan, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he's with us in spirit. And he is the lead instructor for SARcraft. He is the one that you'll generally be interacting with the most when you come and take a course. I do a little bit of instruction, but mostly it's him. I do the sales and marketing, networking, cut the checks, keep the books, that sort of thing, and he does most of the instruction. Which leads me into how we began. It all started with a fire. Because as I told you, Jonathan and I met in search and rescue. He has been in there a little longer than I have. He's been there about 12 years now, and you know, we always got along. We always had a lot of respect for him. But one day we were out on a training exercise, and it was a really cold, rainy, nasty day. It was in, I want to say, February or March. It wasn't a great day to be outdoors. And he was running a training station at this exercise, and I was a team leader. I was leading groups through to take these different skills tests. And so I set my group out and got them tasked on their mission, and started talking to him. He had built this debris hut out of local material, just kind of thrown it together out of just stuff that he'd picked up and found. And we got under the debris hut, and we were out of the rain. I said, you know, it'd be really nice to have a fire here, because I had some coffee in my pack. And he said, we can do that. So in driving downpour, he just grabbed this material together and just built a fire right there. And so we're sitting in the dry and the warm in front of our fire, drinking our coffee while the rest of the team's out, you know, shivering in the rain. And I looked at him and said, you know, there's not a lot of people who can do this, that have this skill set that you do. This is a very valuable thing you just did. And he looked at me like I was crazy, like, can't everybody do this? I'm like, no. And the more we talked about it, the more we realized that if more of our lost subjects had had just a basic level of wilderness survival skills, the dire emergency that they found themselves in, that we had to be called out to rescue them out of, would be just another good story to tell their buddies over a beer. Just a cool adventure that they could have. And that was really the day that SARcraft was born. We decided that between his skill set and the mission that was truly necessary, that we could build a business out of this. And years went by. That was, I don't even know what year that was. But over time we decided to go ahead and bring it to life. So dreams are great. Mission's awesome. But without a business model, it's not a business. It's a hobby. So what is ours? Well, first and foremost, we offer courses. We have training for outdoor professionals. As I said, we have classes for law enforcement fugitive trackers. Mostly we focus on search and rescue because that is our vocation and our wheelhouse. We have courses that prepare people for the National Association for Search and Rescue's rigorous SARTEC 1 and SARTEC 2 tests. We also offer courses in tracking, land navigation, search techniques and tactics, and the like. We have just launched our executive leadership training program, which one of y'all should ask me about that during the questionnaire. I'd love to talk about it more, because we're looking for a pilot group. We also offer youth programs. As an Eagle Scout, the Boy Scouts of America are near and dear to my heart. My partner is a scout leader, actually. He volunteers his time doing that. So we offer 3 merit badge programs for scouts. And we can also custom tailor our youth programs to any group that would like to do something similar. And we also have our standard course offerings, which is mostly wilderness survival, bushcraft based, which there is a distinction between those two. And again, they range from half a day, our course called Sunday Afternoon Bushcraft, which is Sunday afternoons from 2 to 7, all the way to a full weekend. And we can do custom courses of really any length that you want. If you give us enough notice, we can keep you out there for 2-3 weeks, if that's what you want. And again, we also offer a store. We have a line of premium survival products that we ourselves have tested in the field. There's nothing that we offer that we don't fully stand behind. Everything that we sell, with a very few exceptions, we have used in the field for at least 2 years. So we don't sell, whatever the item of the month is, whatever's cool and trendy. It's stuff that's tried, true, proven platforms, as we like to say. Now, in conclusion, one more thing before we close. StarCraft is not just a company, it's a mission to save lives and empower people through outdoor education. And we believe in the skills that we teach because we have lived them. We have used them to save our own lives and the lives of others countless times over the years. And we've also seen through teaching them the kind of confidence that grows with people learning these sort of skills. Because when you've been prepared and empowered to face whatever the worst hell is that nature can throw at you and make it out alive, not only alive but thriving, then the problems in your own life, the day-to-day struggles that we all face, start to seem a lot smaller and more manageable in contrast. And that is something that truly changes people's lives. That is our mission. That is what we do. Be honored if you would join us, and together we can prevail. Thank you.
I'm going to let you keep the mic.
Sure.
So,
Set my clicker down.
Who are new, this is the Q&A time. Most 1-man cups have 2 presenters. We only do 1, and we feel like it gives us a little bit more freedom and flexibility to have longer Q&A. So I want you guys to, we've got 20 minutes, but we'll push it into 30 if we need it, especially since we started a little late. But again, any questions you guys have for him, any pushback, any thoughts or solutions, please do so.
Yes.
What about the executive leadership?
Thank you for asking that. I appreciate that question. Yes, that's been one of our goals since we started, actually, was to offer corporate leadership training. Because if you've ever spent any time in the corporate world, which I imagine a lot of you have, most corporate leadership training is really boring. Like it's death by PowerPoint. You just sit in the conference room, you do a PowerPoint, you have these awkward team building exercises that nobody really wants to do that kind of work, maybe not. We decided we could do better. So we have put together a program based on our experience teaching leadership to first responders that we believe would lend itself very well to a corporate team building environment. And it's scenario based, so we set you off, say, on a scenario of your choosing. We can work with you to put something together that you would want to do. But say, for example, your vehicle dies on a Forest Service road, there's no signal, you have just these items in your car, and that's what's going to get you by. And the objective of your team is to use those items and the skills that we teach you, have a day for skills instruction, a day for the exercise, use the gear you've been given and the skills that we teach you to make it out alive and achieve whatever the objective is of that scenario. And then that concludes with a sort of an after-action report, a debrief of how you performed as a team, not trying to tear you apart, but just sort of a self-reflection on, what went well, what could have been done better, who did what roles, whether it was the formal leader who took charge or if it was someone else, and essentially do an evaluation of that so that you can find where your true strengths are and also find where some of your weaknesses are so that you can shore those up and become stronger as a team and have better group dynamics in the future. So right now we're looking for a group to pilot that. We are looking for a team of between ideally 4 and 15 people that would be willing to take that on. And of course we would offer you a discounted rate as our first clients in that program. And we can tailor it to whatever you want. We prefer doing at least an overnight through the next day, but we could possibly do a short half-day brief or as long as a full weekend. So it's really up to what you want. So if that is you, or if you know anyone that would be interested in that, please point them in my direction. We'd really appreciate that because we're very excited to try out the program. We just need a test group, essentially. Yes?
So, as we all know, the average American isn't the fittest people in the world. And there are folks that may have special needs, whether it be diabetes or a mobility disability or something like that. Are there any folks that you guys maybe aren't quite ready to work with just yet?
You know, I would say no, because the majority of our courses are not very physically strenuous at all. We try to be very accessible, at least especially for our introductory courses, like our half-day and our one-day courses. They're very family-friendly, non-threatening, very open. We try to make people feel comfortable. We really want people to be relaxed so that they can take in the most knowledge. So we try to make it easy on people. So our campsite, it's parking distance. It's not a hike. We don't, make you do push-ups in the rain unless you want to. I mean, more power to you if you do, but we don't make you. And it's mostly sitting around a campfire doing skills, like doing hands-on practice. So I think it would be, our basic course format, I believe, is very accessible to most people. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Great. Yes?
What do you have in your pack over there?
Oh man, all the essentials of life. So, being prepared is a way of life for us. It's the Boy Scout motto. So, my partner and I both carry what we call a haversack. You can call it a man purse if you want, but it's a haversack. And so that has a first aid kit in it. It's got a fire kit. It's got some cord. It's got about 100 feet of paracord cut into different lengths. I've got my big field knife. I normally carry it on my belt. I'm dressed a little better than I normally do. Normally I'm outside working. But got my field knife, got a backup knife, got two flashlights because 2 is 1, 1 is none. And let's see, cat tourniquet, and then just some daily necessities like, wallet, toiletries, antacid, that kind of stuff. So a little bit of everything, and I also carry my water bottle on there, among other things, some other stuff in there, but that's the gist of it. Yes?
How do your fees work?
Well, do you mean for our standard courses or for our custom courses?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for our standard courses, we have set prices, essentially. Our half-day courses are $39 a Sunday afternoon bushcraft, so $39 for adults, $19 for kids 12 and under. Our one-day courses are $99, and our weekend courses generally run about $349. And we also offer several discounts. We have a military and first responder discount. That means a lot to us because that's the community we come out of. We also have a discount if you bring a friend. And I'm glad you asked that question because it reminded me I actually have 10% off coupon cards for everyone in here who wants one. I've got them. So just please see me after if you'd like one. So you can thank her for that because I might have forgotten until after I left. Now our custom courses, that's a little more variable. That has to do with really the time, of course. Mostly it's based on the amount of time you're out there. Whether you stay overnight, because we always include meals with our overnight courses. We're great believers in feeding people. We don't like to go hungry and we don't want anyone else to either. In our overnight courses we generally have wild game dinners with homegrown vegetables, and then breakfast is campfire breakfast, bacon, eggs, sausage, and all that. So food cost is a consideration if you're going to stay overnight. The level of complexity, like the leadership training does run a little higher than our standard courses because there's a lot of very close logistics and planning involved in that. And also your group size. We generally tend to give discounts for large groups. So that's all very variable. That's really on a case-by-case basis. We quote you on that. So does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Well,
that's great.
yeah, go ahead.
Have you considered some special events, or maybe have some for women, or bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, or those escape room kind of things?
Yeah. Well, the escape room format is not that much different than our corporate leadership training format. It's basically an escape room on a grand scale, except your room is 70 acres. But yeah, actually all those other things, we love to do a bachelor party. If you look on our custom courses page, that's one of the things we list as things we do. We've never hosted one, we've always wanted to. I mean, we could definitely show some guys a good time. And yeah, we have looked at like women's specific courses, especially like bringing in a consultant for women's self-defense, that sort of thing. So we've got really more ideas than we've had time to implement yet. But yes, great question. Yes?
Are you providing like basic EMS training or just strictly survival training?
We do offer basic medical training. I'm a first aid and CPR instructor, although I'm not generally the one that teaches that. We have a good friend of ours who runs another company. She's been a wilderness EMT for, I believe, about 20 years. She's been in the game a really long time. Excellent instructor. And we offer what we call first aid for the outdoor enthusiasts. It's a one-day course that you get a American Heart Association first aid certification out of, and you can also use it for recert hours. Now, as far as more advanced stuff like first responder, other wilderness medicine stuff, we haven't gotten into that yet, although that is planned for the future. We would like to branch out more into the wilderness medicine market. Yes?
Most of your clients now coming to you kind of from our general area in Cherokee County, are they coming from Metro Atlanta? And as a follow-up, what do you need from folks in the community?
Yes to both of the first two. Most of our people are local within Cherokee County, but we've gotten people from all over the region. Our farthest, for a one-day course, our farthest people afield came from Spartanburg County, South Carolina. Whole family of 8 loaded up and came for a half-day course. So we tried to make it worth their while. I think they had a good time. As far as what the community can do for us, well, first off, come take a course. Now, what we really need, our biggest problem, or our biggest challenge so far has been getting people in the door. So brand evangelists, people who are willing to take up our mission and tell the people in their community, people who are thought leaders, influencers, who believe in what we do and can really spread the word about what we do, are incredibly valuable to us. And as I said, we'd love a group for our leadership training, but then also, yeah, just come take a course. I mean, you can ask Sean. He was there this past Sunday. They kind of signed up at the last minute, and we put together something really cool for them, I think. And we had a great time. It was wonderful meeting y'all. You and your daughter were great students. But that would be great. Yes?
Is there a minimum class size for each of these that you have to, in order to hold it? Or you like 2 or 3 people?
We've done one-on-one training. There's advantages and disadvantages to the small and large classes. The small courses, you really get a more intimate feel. You get a lot of one-on-one time with the instructor. We can go really deep into whatever topic you want. The time restrictions are a lot more loose. So there's that advantage, but you know, the larger setting, there's a great energy that comes with it of people kind of working together as a team to learn a skill or achieve a goal. But to answer your question, there's not really a minimum course size. We prefer to have at least 4 for a custom course if you want to put one together. That's really kind of our stated minimum. You'll find that on our website. But, you know, we can work with you. Yes?
Do you read anything or whatever?
Sure.
And do you have a minimum age for children who can come to this?
What course specifically?
And just any of your general courses that you do, like you said something about family.
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, our half-day course, our Sunday afternoon bushcraft, it's really for all ages. We've had families bring infants there, you know, just hold them while we lecture and they do their thing, and it's fine. There's no age restriction on that. We love having family groups come, and it's a short class. It's, you know, 5 hours. Kids can focus for that long pretty well. The longer courses are one-day courses from 9 to 7. We prefer the kids be at least 12. But again, on a case-by-case basis, we can make exceptions because, you know, we're a startup. We're not a big soulless corporation with policies that say we can't do that. If you have an 8 or 9-year-old or a 10-year-old that's really mature and really excited about the subject and is really passionate about it, absolutely, that'd be great. The weekend courses, again, age moves up a little bit. Prefer to be about 16, but again, we can make exceptions. Yes?
Yeah, Alex, I'm a fellow resident of Waleska, so glad to know you guys exist.
Cool. Wall Vegas, baby.
I'm trying to articulate the question in my head, but I think I know where I'm going. Without knowing where your business is headed, I used to spend a lot of time in business up in Alaska, and I had a guy who owned a search and rescue company, used to provide all the training for all the oil companies. You know, these guys out in the remote parts of Alaska were really important to have that skill set.
Cool.
I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder how many people, families and stuff, realize they need to have those types of skills. And so I'm looking at kind of like the available market, and I'm wondering where your intersection between search and rescue, because to me that's a specific type of professional as opposed to a family person, although I understand the need, versus like preppers, because that's a very family thing. So I wonder where that intersection of your company is, because it seems to be a whole bunch more people over here might be interested in it than the specific search and rescue scenario. Does that make sense? I'm trying to get it straight in my own head.
Yes, no, thank you for that question. I probably should have explained myself there. That's on me. Most of our courses are geared towards that second market that you said. They're the broader market. They're wilderness survival, they're bushcraft, they're preparedness, just hands-on family-friendly workshops. The search and rescue really is more kind of specific and esoteric. We rarely have people just sign up for those. Generally, it's a contact that one of us has made that we cultivate and then send them a quote and bring them in as a team. So yeah, we do tend to gear more towards our roots are very firmly in search and rescue, but most of our course offerings are geared towards wilderness survival. Does that answer your question?
Part of it, yeah, because I'm thinking as I talk to my neighbors up in Alaska, and these are people who live there for decades and decades, they're not so worried about, you know, I'm going to go on a trip and I may find myself in the wilderness in a situation where I've got to, you know, live through this, but more so when all hell breaks loose and society collapses, what does my bug out bag look like? You know,
Right.
what should I be carrying in this thing that lasts a week? And, you know, how, from that standpoint of, okay, the world's coming to an end, that's the lesson, right?
Yeah.
Gunshots every day, right? So when all things break loose, what do I do then? So it's not so much I mean, I climbed Kilimanjaro a couple of years ago, and honestly, you learn a lot about your shortcomings.
Oh yeah.
I had lots of them. But that was more of a from a family-oriented, here's what we do when things collapse.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think I have a clear idea of what you're saying now. We believe that, because we, you know, I wouldn't call us preppers, but we do, of course, believe in a preparedness lifestyle. We believe it's prudent. It's something that we believe that's just common sense that everyone should be doing, because you never know. Even if the world is not going to end, if you have that kit, you're going to be really well prepared for if there's a local or regional disaster like a tornado or a hurricane coming through. So that's something we certainly believe in. We haven't developed as many what we call long-term grid-down survival courses yet, but we do believe that if you can survive in the woods, survive anywhere, because that's, for most people who are not woodsmen, who have not grown up doing this, who haven't lived this, that's going to be the sparsest environment. And the closer you get to civilization, the more resources you're going to have. So if you can start with that level, if you can, I don't want to say master, because we don't really believe there are any masters out there. But if you can develop a good, strong working knowledge of wilderness survival in, you know, out in the woods, where all you have is the resources that are growing around you, then anything besides that is probably going to be easier. Because even in a post-disaster civilization, you're still going to have a lot of resources that you can find and utilize that you're not going to have out in the woods.
My personal take is that your market gets extremely large when you connect the dots to how this can help you and your children in an everyday situation when things like that do happen, as opposed to a when and if you find yourself out in the wilderness surviving or a search and rescue type of message. It just broadens your market dramatically.
That's a good point. Thank you for that feedback. Actually, the one thing that we're doing right now that's tied into that is we've got about a half-acre garden plot we're putting in this year. And that's one of the things we're going to be covering is sometime this summer we're probably going to have a long-term grid-down preparedness course on growing your own food. Because that's a skill that everyone should have. Even if it's just a small plot in your backyard, it's still a valuable skill to know, and it can still really help you out a lot in one of those scenarios. And also, we aim to have at least 70% of our food grown on site for our students as well. Yeah. Lee was first.
Sort of a segue from your growing your own food. This past weekend, they did a plant medicine class. So the plant medicine was about how to get natural plants, herbs, etc. And they drill the kit. So can you give like a rundown of some of the other classes that you've offered, just so people aren't misunderstanding that it's all about search and rescue?
Yes, thank you. So, again, I've talked a lot about our half-day course. That's our most popular one. It's a different topic every time. We try to make it very hands-on and fun for families, so it's usually something that's something you make and you take home. Our one-day courses are based around what we call the core four survival priorities: fire, water, food, and shelter. And we offer what we call our essentials courses based around gaining those four resources. So we have firecraft essentials, where you learn about fire science, like at what temperature fire does certain things. You learn about different kinds of fire lays, like how to utilize the resources around you, how to go out in the woods and find your tinder, your kindling, and your fuel wood. You learn how to use a knife and a ferro rod to strike that fire rather than having to rely on matches or a lighter, because they're not as reliable. And then we can even turn you loose with some primitive fire making methods like a bow drill. Lee and his wife Natalie actually were the first ones to succeed in doing that. It was a really, really cool moment. They got a shelter named after them for it. So we have the Collins shelter up there. Now, if you do something really cool in one of our courses, we'll name a shelter after you. But like in our water course, our wilderness water essentials, we teach about how to find water even if you have never been to a certain area before, like how to locate natural water sources, how to craft a filter if you don't have one, like how to build an effective water filter from natural materials. We also go over the best kinds of man-made filters that you can buy to put in your kit. Things of that nature, like our sheltering essentials course. We talk about primitive shelter versus modern shelter, and how really it's far better to carry something with you like a pre-rigged tarp rather than it is to try to bushcraft a shelter out of natural materials, because it takes forever. And you get to see that because you get to help build one of those, hands-on practice doing that and realize how difficult it is. Then we'll show you, how to throw up a tarp in 2.5 minutes. So those are sort of our main core courses and the content that's within them. We do have some other specialty courses, like we did a long-distance hiking essentials course back in February. There was a family who was going to thru-hike the Appalachian Trail as a group, and they came and we did kind of a gear shakedown, basic survival, navigation, how to deal with wild animals, that sort of thing. And the next one we've got coming up, actually, segue into a little course plug here. Our next upcoming course is Wilderness Survival Essentials. It's June 2nd, and it's a mixed bag. It's a little bit of everything. It's fire, water, food, shelter, edible plants, navigation, just kind of an introduction and a basic familiarization with all of the primary core skills of wilderness survival in a one-day course format. So that's probably a little more detail into some of the course content that we offer. It varies. We're still optimizing. We're still figuring out the best sort of course schedule, because we found out when we schedule too often, people just don't come because they figure there's going to be another one. There's no exclusivity there. So we've sort of spaced it out. We do fewer courses. We invest more time and effort into them. We market them more heavily, and that seemed to work better for us. So right now, we're at about twice a month on average. One thing that messed things up is my partner injured his back really severely about a month and a half ago, and he's been recovering from that. So we haven't been teaching much since then because he's been down. But normally it's 1 to 3 times a month. Yes? 2
real quick questions. Mm-hmm. Is this what you guys do full time? And secondly, where do you see the business headed? What's the end goal of building this?
Also excellent questions. Right now, this is not our full-time profession. It's not quite there yet. We both have jobs outside of this. But our goal, yes, is to bring this full-time. And ideally, we would like to franchise the model. We would like, because I've never seen a survival school do that. There's some that have several locations across the country, but never more than like 2 or 3. We'd like to make it a clear enough business model with clear enough branding, course content, that it could be reproduced all over the country, ideally. That's a way off goal.
But I go back to, I think personally that the key to that is connecting it so that everybody in the house realizes they need this, because I don't think most people here do.
That's a good point. Yes.
Time for one more
Yeah.
How did you develop the logo?
That's actually a really cool story because we have an entire blog post on our website devoted to the meaning and colors behind the logo. So it is a modified version of the Greek or heraldic cross. It's an ancient symbol. It's been used by many cultures and many people over the centuries, but over time it's come to mean, it's become a symbol of the first responder community. It's, if you've ever looked at the Cherokee County Fire logo, it's in the background. And since those are our roots, we decided to honor that because we based our company on the International Search and Rescue motto, these things we do that others may live. And we modified it. The wood grain, the tree ring pattern is meant to signify our connection with the earth, our connection with nature, and the orange, the colors have meanings as well. So I encourage you to go on our website and check out the blog post. I think it's our first or second post that we ever did. It's been about a year ago. So highly encourage you to check that out.
Awesome. Round of applause for Alex. Yeah. So we always try to give a token of thanks. So official ceramic mug.
All right.
Only for those who present.
Cool.
And travel mug. So you can stick around for maybe 10 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
You guys want
I'll
to
be here.
Or go deeper with another question?
Yeah, come get a coupon.
Yeah, 10%?
Yeah.
Or was it 25?
You can stack discounts. If you're a first responder and you use the card, you can get 20% off.
There we go. All right. Well, thanks, Christine. So we got a couple giveaways, a few different ones this time. We want to do so. Hopefully, you guys put a card in the box. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I'll let you pull one out.
Oh man. Oh man. No pressure. All right. I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible here.
Okay. AVX, Audio Video Excellence, Tom Batista.
Tom Batista. So, do you have a copy?
No, yeah.
Okay.
You do now.
All right. That's me.
All right. Pivotal performance processes. What's your aspiration? What's your dream? Dean.
It's your first time being, right?
It is.
Awesome. All right. And from time to time, I know this is a little bit different yet. I feel a little weird giving away books, but people have donated books to the circuit just for the cause of entrepreneurship. So if you have books that you're not reading or something that really has touched you when it comes to business, we'd love to take those and then we just give them away freely to people. So we're kind of building a library. But I've got two of those now, so we'll give those away to somebody as well. One is Tribes by Seth Godin, which is supposed to be excellent.
I actually put my card in there.
And then this is a classic. Those of you heard of Getting Things Done by David Allen. It's a couple years ago. This is the whole art of stress beats productivity. They've got a website and they teach you workflows on how to balance everything you're working on. So highly recommend it. So anyway, we'll do those giveaway real quick.
All right. Meredith Jolly Enterprises, LLC.
All right. Take Tribes. And then last but not least, of course, Getting Things Done here. Make it count, man. Make it count.
It's a good thick business card. Diesel David, again. That's your strategy. Ooh, that's a big business card. I'm going to pick that one. I will.
So,
I think I've already got one, but I'll
before we
keep
go,
it.
we really
Mine
appreciate
in
you
the
guys
back.
being part
I'll
of
get
it.
you one.
Next time we're going to be meeting May 16th in Ballground. I'll check our website, momecups.com/Cherokee for the final details of who's going to be presenting. We're trying to finalize that. I think the person we have in mind is in Hawaii. We're waiting for them to get back from vacation. But again, guys, the theme this morning is priorities. So stay tuned for that. Check our website. If you guys have any other questions, we definitely want feedback on this program since this is only our 6th time doing it and we're still learning and trying to make it good and valuable. I see a couple people, or I see at least one in the room who's going to be presenting in the future. I won't say who, but I'm glad that he's here. But this is a great program. If you're looking to present your company, if you're growing another product line, if you want feedback to the community, you can apply online. It's real easy. You just click apply and it comes through and we follow up with you. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Yeah, Adam.
Real quick, you mentioned about the getting done in your books. Do that we do?
No, I don't. Yeah, you got some old ones?
Yeah,
notes and pre-highlighted with the best parts already would be really helpful. Saves time. All right, we all stick around, have some more coffee, exchange cards, and we appreciate you coming. Thank you all.
Alex, yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you.